Now, what do you guys feel as far as with the how the referees officiated the game? Because that's one thing that I noticed as well is there was a few crucial downs where we should have got them up off the field, and the referees they threw flags. Now, reviewing the replays on those plays, to me, a few of them were tic tacky, but I mean, they're coming from the same players that, these calls have been called on, consistently years past as well. Like if you're touching a player after 5 yards, like they can throw the flag if they want to, So, do you think that there's an issue with, how the referees officiated the game? Do you think there was a problem with some of the calls, or do you think that could have also been, due to fatigue and players being, out of position on plays and being, fatigued during the play, during those crucial downs? Like, what was your thoughts on that, there, Banger?
I mean, I think it's just like I said before that at the end of the day, it's the NFL's professional ball. Guys are always doing shit they're not supposed to be on the field. That's part of the game. You're trying to get an edge any way you can. Sometimes you get caught. That's the problem. Especially when you're tired, then you really try to do extra things to get an edge. So, I think it's just a situation where, once again, it's early in the season. Look at too is not only that, because our offense has been performing, but, it hasn't been smooth and consistent. So, how do I say this? Like last game, offense was getting off the field because they either scoring or there was turnovers. So defense kept on coming back on the field, 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 back on the field. And I mean, they're human, bro. They're human and they're not in shape yet. So I'm not going to be too critical right now, speculate too much. Same thing goes with the Broncos. It's like, you see them come out and do well in the second half, but it's like even them as an NFL team, like they're going through the same struggles that we're going through and finding their rhythm. So there's spurts when they find it, spurts when they don't. And, it doesn't always match up for us, and that's what we look at. But at the end of the day, man, I think that time is going to fix all that, so I'm not sure.
Gotcha. Now, what do you guys feel as far as with the how the referees officiated the game? Because that's one thing that I noticed as well is there was a few crucial downs where, we should have got them up off the field, and, the referees, they threw flags. Now, reviewing the replays on those plays, to me, a few of them were tic tacky, but I mean, they're coming from the same players that, these calls have been called on, consistently years past as well. Like, like if you're touching a player after 5 yards, like they can throw the flag if they want to, So, do you think that there's an issue with, how the referees officiated the game? Do you think there was a problem with some of the calls, or do you think that could have also been, due to fatigue and players being, out of position on plays and being, fatigued during the play, during those crucial downs? Like, what was your thoughts on that, there, Banger?
I mean, I think it's just like I said before that at the end of the day, it's the NFL's professional ball. Guys are always doing shit they're not supposed to be on the field. That's part of the game. You're trying to get an edge any way you can. Sometimes you get caught. That's the problem. Especially when you're tired, then you really try to do extra things to get an edge. So, I think it's just a situation where, once again, it's early in the season. Matter of fact, it ain't even early in the season. It's early,
what about you,
it's
Chris?
early in the preseason. That's the real shit.
I mean, honestly, you're definitely right, though. Like you said, they usually have 4 weeks of, training solid. Plus, they have the 2 weeks of the off where they'll just run around without pads on type shit. So that completely makes sense. You're 100% right on that shit.
So are you guys saying, as far as with the defense, we're really not going to be able to fully judge them until we get probably about the first quarter of the season, behind us? Then we can actually judge to see, how everybody's standing and where we're at with everything.
I'm going to say more like about 7 games in. Because normally you're going to start looking at the defense 3 games in. So 4 plus 3 is 7.
Wow.
I'll say six would be, ahead of the curve.
And I mean, not to mention, like you're saying, we're this early, and they're really not performing bad. Like, they're really not.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong.
They're doing an amazing job. I mean, they've been holding teams down. I mean, they're really not putting up outstanding numbers or touchdowns on us or nothing else. I mean,
they're getting the job done.
Exactly. We're 2-0 too. You know what I mean? That's a hell of a speak. I mean, because like Banger said at the beginning, our offense was a little rusty in that first one there, man. And our defense kept us in that damn game. Right.
And that's now you see our offense is coming along, man. You're seeing like Claypool is so crazy, man. The first game, the first thing I said about Claypool was like, well, we got to see him on the open field. What do he do? Gets on the open field, takes all the way to the house.
Gone, bro.
Then you're looking at Deontay Johnson was out there moving, man. They were making those A/B comparisons with his cuts, and then once again Juju, man, it's like I don't want to like Juju's out there balling, bro. Both games, balling.
Yeah.
What about that catch? What about the catch he caught off that little bounce when dropped the ball and he caught? I mean, his awareness.
Right. When he recovered the fumble. Right from Snell. Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like he's balling out, bro. And I'm really seeing him getting ready, not even getting ready, but making that transition to who AD was, as far as being that true number one. You know what I mean? He's getting the majority. He's getting a lot of targets and he's catching all of them. But then you have Claypool right there. You know what I'm saying? And you got Ebron, and I'm seeing James Washington. To me, it feels like James Washington is taking over that Eli Rogers role.
Oh, yeah.
Animal with it, man. I mean, our
definitely. What was it that week one?
Right, because the thing is, before you see Washington playing wideout, you know what I mean? And he's bulky, but he was shorter for a wideout. But when he's in that slot, he's
slot
a
back,
monster. Bro, at that position, he's a Megatron. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody else his size back there. Nobody, man. They're not used to lining up with somebody who's that big, man. And he's moving and he's strong. You see that, man. You see how he fought for them extra yards. Like, your man is
plus, his speed's not bad at all, man, for where he's running. His ability out there, bro, he's completely underrated to me.
Right. And his ability to get up and get the ball, man. He can get up in the air and get that ball. He showed that time and time again. He showed that
one of
last
the
year.
true athletes.
I think the Steelers have a lot of exciting wide receivers, and that's what Washington actually runs into is he's kind of falling victim to the depth chart where there's so many ballers, on that roster that he's only getting a certain number of targets. Like if he was on another team, like I would say like Jacksonville or even New York.
Any other team.
Yeah, any other team, he would be getting more targets, and I think he would definitely be producing.
But look what he's doing with his targets. The limited number of targets he's getting. Look at the production he's getting.
Yeah,
and I see him stepping it up even more this season. Like I said, during the offseason, I heard he had some type of conditioning program where he actually put on some more weight. So it definitely is showing this season. Like he definitely is going out there and producing. And I see him doing more later in the season. Like
even touch bases on offensive preseason. Like look at these our receivers are just our lineup of receivers is just nasty, bro. Like that shit. We are our depth chart, like you were saying. I mean, we have so many weapons. Like none of our team is gonna look like they're not gonna look like somebody with a high number, one of the all-stars, because we have so many weapons on our team that it's going to spread out. But that's going to make us so dangerous in the long run once it comes together.
Bro, some real shit, man. Chase Claypool. I've only seen him get targeted a couple times, and every time he got targeted, man, it was like, damn.
He got out on that touchdown.
84 yards. So what did you guys think of as far as with that? Do you think it was just a situation where that was a play that was designed for Claypool, and is that something that the offensive coordinator is going to be doing, for the rest of the season, or do you think that was just he just executed the play that was just called on the field there?
Let me tell you what I think, man. What I think is they're playing with a new toy and figuring out what he can do.
Best way put. And I mean, like.
They haven't, bro. I mean, like, for real. Like, once again, keep in mind what we started this conversation with. We didn't have a preseason. You don't know what these dudes can do. You know what I'm saying? So, because when you're lining up against the same your same teammates in a different color, that's not football. That's practice. Your adrenaline ain't going. That killer instinct ain't going. You got to see how you line up against other men. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And right now, they're like, okay, we seen for 2 games. They're like, you see, they didn't fucking just, oh, he's good, throwing the ball. No, they don't know how he can handle pressure. None of that. They don't know exactly what he can do. All they know is what he can do in college. So right now, they got a new toy. They're excited as fuck. We're all excited. They don't want to get their hopes up too high. You know what I'm saying? Because we already had, I'm not going to bash the homie. That's the homie. I'm just saying, like, it didn't work out with Martavis. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, right now they're like, damn, what's going to happen with dude? Is he, you know what I'm saying? And then, and what I was capable of. And I'm excited. I'm looking at him and I'm excited. Like, I'm super excited. Because, man, if he could do half of what we think he can, all you got to do is get him in the end zone and throw the ball out to him. It don't matter if he's triple coverage, quadruple coverage, whatever. He's taller than everybody. He's stronger than everybody covering him. He's faster than them, and he can jump higher, and his arms are longer. What can you do? What can you do with that? So I think, like you see, bro, they're not targeting him and throwing off no fly. They're just like, hey, 2 or 3 targets a game. That's it.
Yeah, try to let him in. I mean, plus they got thrown right in the Lions then. You mean they usually start off and they go against the other, new guys, second stringers.
Right.
You were thrown right into the fucking ring with the chance. You was thrown in with the best players, taking shots from the best players from the jump. And let me tell you, I know a lot of people that played. That's a hell of a jump from college to the NFL, bro. So you're used to getting hit by these college kids that get smacked by. These motherfuckers has been doing this professionally and killing it for how long? These are the best of the best.
Best of the best. Everybody in the NFL is the best of the best of the best.
Exactly. And you're used to warming up on the lighter side of things. You went right in there, like boom, no practice.
Everybody, man. Everybody in your practice squad was that dude at whatever college he was at.
Exactly.
Period. So when you're up against a bunch of college kids. He came out. That's what I said last time, man. Like, usually you get your welcome to the NFL moment as a rookie. He welcomed the NFL to himself. He introduced himself. This is who I am. You know what I'm saying?
And
came out with a toe tap the first game and then with a touchdown the second game.
You know what? That's what I was actually going to touch base on was that toe tap. Like, the body control that he has, even when you see that he's running the deep routes, like,
I'm not just looking at his size. I'm looking at his body. I'm looking at the big toe 100%. Tap.
Yeah. He's a true athlete. You could just see it. Natural athlete. He's fat. He's big. He's strong. Yeah. He has that animal instinct to go get it when it's near him. He's a natural athlete.
Man, it's rare when you have somebody that big that's that nimble.
Yep.
That's what he was, man. He was like, oh, this guy has light feet.
That's That's the perfect word. Is he's very, very nimble. Like, you could tell, like, he just has soft feet. Even with the toe tap that he did there on the sideline, you could just tell, like almost like he's like a male ballerina out there. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he has such body control and he has solid hands too. I'm seeing that. Like, as far as like how he's catching the ball, his hands and everything are there. So, like, kudos to the coaching staff for this pick. He's looking like he might be something here in the near future, man.
Bro,
he's looking like he might be something amazing.
Man, he's the steal of the decade, in my opinion.
Animal.
For real, man. In my opinion, man. Like I said, I see what everything he brings to the table. That's a bold statement there. Man, when it comes to the wideouts, man, it's like with his height, his size, his vertical, his athleticism, his hunger, his agility, all that, man. It's like you don't get that at 6'5".
Yeah.
Every day.
You
just don't, bro. 6'5" is usually a tight end. You know what I mean? And it's like, all right, think about Vance McDonald, right? Vance McDonald plays varsity football. When he gets the ball, he takes off, but he's a truck. You know what I'm saying? He's not doing toe taps. He's plowing through people at high speeds, but he's plowing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's flat. He definitely is flat-footed. He's flat-footed.
But I'm just not even about being flat-footed. Is that when you're that height and that size, that's usually how it is, bro. You're not doing those cuts.
like what you said, but you could tell, you know, the way that he runs. So, like when I say that he's flat-footed, it's like as soon as he puts his foot down on the ground, you could tell all of his weight's going there. Whereas Claypool, it looks like when he's running his routes, he's floating out there.
Yeah, but it's like, you know, but I'm just saying with the agility, bro, the body movement, it's like the average person who's got that much body mass, they can't make their body move with those short little movements, and he can.
Yeah,
and that's amazing. That's amazing. That's the equivalent of Usain Bolt. Usain Bolt is not supposed to be a 100-yard dash runner. He's supposed to be a 400-yard dash runner or a 200-yard dash runner because legs his long shouldn't be able to move as fast as his do. You know what I'm saying? He's supposed to be able to eat up ground and he's supposed to start off fast but then pick up speed further on. He has that initial burst that most tall people don't have. That's how he is. He has that thing that most people his size don't have, and that's what makes him dangerous.
Agreed. I think that I got to say that he's another underrated player. I don't think they're talking about him enough. I think his ability and the way he moves, I think the way that he learned a playbook already, I mean, he's on top of it. You haven't seen him run a bad route. Like you said, we're still talking about preseason here, fellas. Like he didn't run a bad route. He got this ball down, bro. Like you won't see him miss a beat. When he's supposed to cut, when he cut to that sideline, that ball was there. He knew where it was coming. He knew where he had to be. I mean, I even took it to the blocking. Look at his blocking. Anytime you see him run, you've seen him on there smacking somebody. Like he was in front of somebody.
Bro, he was. Was he ever?
Oh, yeah,
was he ever?
Yeah, like I mean, he handles on both sides, bro. Like I mean, like Banger said, he's definitely underrated, hands down.
And you know, one thing that stands out to me, and this is what makes a lot of players in certain positions great, is when they can actually put effort and they can contribute towards special teams play. And Claypool, man, he's flying down there making tackles like he reminded me of Hines. That's how Hines got off the bench and put in line to make some plays and got his career off of the ground on special teams.
You say that, but let me take this, and I'm not taking it from Hines, but to me, I just feel that he has a bigger ability to be. Hines was a go-to player. I think that he can be more dangerous if he develops the way that we're seeing him move. Let me put it that way.
More of a game changer.
I think he can hands down. I mean, with his height and speed, like Hines Ward was an amazing player, hands down one of the best there was. Period. Yeah. I mean, he could get on a third and long, anything, fourth one. You can always count on him to be where he needs to be to get to that ball. Always. You know what I mean? Like he's one of them players. I think that he can be one of these players too, except for with more ability than Hines had, is what I'm saying. Which would, in my brain, make him a better player hands down. You know what I mean? Like he would just be.
His potential's through the roof, man.
I think what separated Hines from a lot of players was, you know, how he was able to control his body and, you know, possess a lot of catches on crucial downs. Yes. But it was more or less like his blocking more than anything. His blocking abilities really separated him and made him, you know, stand out at the position. And that's one of the reasons why I love Juju, because Juju, I feel like he has everything there for him to be, you know, elite receiver. You know, I think with Juju before, I think it may have been a little bit of conditioning because he's so young. Like, you know, like you see on social media, he's eating a lot of junk food and stuff like that. So, you know, I think that may have kind of like hampered a lot of his success, you know, from last year. But this year it looks like he put on some. Well, yeah, you could say that, but
I mean, injury didn't have been.
Yeah, but what injury did he have? I believe he had a hamstring injury, right?
He was out. Was he out for 6 games or 4 games? He was out for
missed about 6 or 7 games.
Yeah, so I think that was for like. Yeah, and like, man, and then it's like the games he was in, he wasn't getting targets, nothing, and he still put up the same numbers AB pulled the second season when Ben was hurt. So it's like, I don't know, man. Once again, man, we gotta keep it fair to them, man. We gotta keep it all the way fair to them. Like, we can't even really speculate on they because they're still in. Like, as far as their mistakes, like where they're fucking up at,
Yeah. Still preseason.
It ain't even speculate their fuck up time right now. But it's more. I'm more in awe of the fucking success we've been having more than anything. Like because so it's like, bro, I kind of like Wade. Ben traditionally loses his first game back, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, and he's not always the strongest season starter.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So to get 2-0 had me like, damn, bro, like, all right. Like I was kind of, I would have been cool to 1-1. And that's kind of what I was lightweight expecting, like a 1-1 start to the season. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, gonna suck this one up, tighten up next game and get it. You know what I'm saying? But they surpassed that so far. So it's like, damn.
But we are looking at a new Ben now. You got to remember all the weight he lost.
A whole new Ben.
He got back in shape like he used to be. Like you repeated. We talked about this before. I have never seen him in shape like this. So I mean, did you see how hard it was to tackle this damn man in the game? I mean, they had hands on him. They're tripping him. They're grabbing his leg. They're everything they possibly could, and he was just getting around, bro. I mean, they still got him a couple of times, but we should have had double that, hands down, easy. But his movement was just so fluid. He was light on his feet. He was nimble. He was moving. He was cutting. He was spinning. Like, I was impressed. Like, don't get it twisted. I was completely impressed by his playmaking and his ability. Literally.
In practice, man, usually, man, there's a lot of times when the season starts, and it's like he looks like he's too tired to be out there. Where he's just like, oh, get this over with. Like, man, what do I got to do that? Like, you know what I'm saying? And that ain't him right now, man. That's not him. Like, he had that season off. He got a season off in the game he really loves. He got a chance to rehab, really be in shape. And, man, his physical therapy translated into work taking care of his whole body. And, because, that's not Ben, man, but he's not known for being Tom Brady, just to work out all off season. Matter of fact, he's more like, you know what I'm saying, I'm just going to get it done. And, like, that's been working for him, but now he's getting older, and I'm glad to see he's in shape. It's translating to his gameplay.
I think that it's good that he got back in shape because, honestly, I love him to death, but it's getting ready to that time that he might have to pass that torch sometime. So I think that he should be ready to train somebody, to show them what's going on and teach them I think that we need to find that next star. We have a lot of potential, but I think we need to find that next star that's going to step in. We need that guy. I think we should have got him this year. We have to have one next year. We have to.
You're saying at the quarterback position, or you?
100%. We have some nice ones. Don't get me wrong. We definitely have some nice and behind back there. We definitely do. But at the same time, we don't have anybody that's really. That's when they was in there, they're making way, and we know what it is. I haven't seen anybody that gives me that feeling. Like when Carpool steps on the field, first year, you see him and that's him. He's an animal. He's a beast. That's what that he's going to be an all-star. I haven't seen that in our quarterback backup slots yet. I've seen some great plays by them. I was a little upset about Ducky. Ducky was killing it for a minute there in last season and shit. Like, we had a lot of people jumping in there, but I didn't see anything that's going to be like boom.
Well, yeah, gotcha. The way to see. I feel like it's interesting we got Dobbs right now too.
Yeah.
Because the only issue that people had with Dobbs was his short pass. That was it. His long ball was nice. His scramble was nice. His pocket awareness was nice. Everything. But it's just that for some reason he could not chip that ball down fucking 10 yards. He could toss it out 30, 40, no problem. Get it right to you. But those 10 yarders, he just couldn't hit them. And that was the only issue with him. I wonder what would have happened with him last year.
And you know what?
He definitely would have played over Nathan.
I kind of said the same thing, but I kind of felt like whenever they put him in the game, they kind of structured everything where they were still running plays that were more suited towards Big Ben's play set and not his play set. Like, they need to get, like, play calls that are more like RPOs where you're moving him out of the pocket, You're giving him the opportunity, to get the running back into the mix, different things like
That's
that.
one
One
of
of the things that I think that if they could have actually worked with Dobbs, that they may have had something on his hand because he knows the playbook like the back of his hand. He pretty much, like you said, he can make all the deep throws, even as far as like for a lot of the short throws. I mean, he was off, but I kind of like use that as to like what we were talking about there as far as with the timing. When he's not running with the first stringers, he's playing with the second and third stringers. That timing is going to be a little bit off. And I think, when he did get the opportunity to, come in and try and produce a little bit, that was a little bit of a flaw within his game, at that point in time. So it would be interesting to see, how he actually transitioned and what he actually, would look like, especially with this team that we have here, because I mean, like we, run into some issues there, running back where, some of the players are having a difficult time producing, but at the wide receiver position, it looks like we're loaded there with weapons. We're loaded. And we haven't even seen the tight end position, develop where it needs to be with Ebron. Like, it seems like he hasn't even found his way into the mix yet.
Yeah.
So for all these quarterbacks, I'd definitely like to see where they would be at now, a second year with them actually being in the system and with all the talent that we have now.
That's another thing we lost with preseason. We would have seen Dobbs on the field. We would have seen everybody in action. We lost that with the preseason too. So I mean,
well, we wouldn't have seen Dobbs because we signed him before week 1, right? So I think we signed him after the preseason, or
I thought it was 2 weeks
this year. Well, I think they released him before. They didn't sign him to the 53. I think they kept him right to the end, and then they released him.
So some of our short down or long distance play calling. You know what I'm tired of seeing? The 3rd and 18 draw. I am so tired of seeing that and the shit like that. Like we already got these receivers pass the ball, man. I mean, it's not always about tricks sometimes. Like I was there's a couple times I'm like, why are we right? We got all these receivers, all these targets. Why are we not throwing the ball? Like, I mean, even if they're expecting it, we have too many people to stop. It seemed like every time we would stop throwing the ball a lot, that's when shit would start tightening up a little bit. I mean, we're trying to push our run game too much, which, on another topic, how about Connor came out showing his ass, though? Last week, he was out injured. Snell stepped up. This week, man, Connor was like, let me show you why I was starting. Like, he came out running, bro.
Running back by committee. That's what it is this season. It's running back by committee. It's going to keep their legs fresh. It's going to keep defenses confused. They have 2 different styles of running, and they're both effective. And you got J. Sam when you, especially on short down yards.
Yeah.
So
and you know what? I think J. Sam is definitely a player that's being underutilized because, like what you're talking about as far as like with the checkdowns, like you have to create certain plays to get him out there in space so that he can create. And I think the offensive.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
And I think the offensive play caller, he's not getting the job done as far as like creating specific plays that are going to be, more going toward certain players that would make them successful at what they're good at pertaining to your skill set. Like we know Jay Samuels, he can catch the ball at the backfield. He can create things and make things happen. You need to have specific plays where if we need 2 or 3 yards, bam, you insert him into the game and, he's your primary weapon for that play. It's something that's drawn up, that's designated just for him, specifically that's going to suit his skill set. And that's one of the things I feel like, our offense actually lacks is, play calling. Like what are your guys' thoughts as far as with that?
Well, I think with Jay Sam, right, the main issue for him, unfortunately, has been that we haven't needed him. There haven't been situations where we needed to pull him out on the field. That's why as it came out. When we need him, he's there. But we've been having these big splash plays on the offense where we haven't had a lot of situations where we've needed him for those checkdowns or those short yardage plays. Not only that, well, the reason being, too, is that the other guys running the ball are more than capable at getting those short down yarders when needed. Namely, Connor and Snell. So it's not even so much of is the offense creating plays for him. The plays are there. He's just not the one that's being called to use them because they're using Snell and Connor. You know what I mean? Or they're not even necessary. Like, it's not necessary to pull him out because fucking everybody else is catching that ball, running that ball, and getting those yards after contact. Kind of makes certain needs obsolete.
But you know what? One thing that I did see, and you guys could tell me if you actually noticed this, like over like the past 2 weeks, probably especially last week, week 2. It seemed to me like he's no longer utilizing the check down like he used 2 years past. Like when we had
His arm don't hurt.
Yeah, he would just utilize the check down, bam, create something happens. We're moving down the field. Now it's like he's holding on to the ball. He's taking some unnecessary sacks again. Like he's not utilizing the check down. So I'm wondering is he losing faith in the running backs that we have where he's saying, listen here, they're not getting the job done, so I'm holding on to the ball, trying to create for something bigger, or
you just said Le'Veon Bell. When you say Le'Veon Bell, you're talking about this era's, at least with us, this era's Barry Sanders, that looser runner, right?
Yeah.
So he was taking what's his face's horrible plays, the bubble screen. He was taking those bubble screens. Anybody else who catches that screen pass is going to get tackled right there on the spot, maybe get 2 or 3 yards more. That's it. But because it's Le'Veon Bell, he's able to take that screen and turn it into a 30-yard run most of the time or more. So with Ben, also you got to remember, Ben, this is the first time his elbow hasn't hurt since, I don't know when, a year. So he's always been looking for those checkdowns. When you have a weapon like Le'Veon Bell who confuses defenses, you do that because now you're preserving your arm. You can actually do something with it. Now you got 2 things. A, you don't got Le'Veon Bell. You got 3 things. A, you don't got Le'Veon Bell. B, you got Ben, whose arm is better. Everything hurts but his arm, like he said, as far as soreness-wise. And C, he's got all these new weapons that he doesn't have to check the ball down to. So why would he? Why would you check the ball when you got Claypool? Why would you check the ball when you got James Washington and Ebron and Juju? There's no that would be bad football.
Yeah, we weren't in really any position to really do it neither. I mean, it would be 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9. You don't really check the ball on that. 3rd and 2, you know what I mean? Something like that. Yeah, then he would pull his checks back out and start moving. Or if we was in any time of time search situation, but we weren't. At any point, we were never rushed for time. You know what I mean? If it had been like a 2-minute drill, he loves to pull it out then, and that's when he usually starts getting used to it. You know what I mean? But, I mean, think about it. If you look back at the games, we didn't have it. I mean, at the end of the game, we were trying to actually waste time with the ball because we had the lead.
Man, think about this, man. When have we ever had a wide receiver core like this led by with somebody like, damn, dude, but it's not just Claypool. We got a chance. We got a little taste of Ebron, too. That's somebody else who didn't get a chance. So Vance McDonald's a familiar target, right? Ebron's not. Claypool's not. Deontay Johnson is not. Think about that. Deontay Johnson just shitting on him both games. He should have had that touchdown. Shouldn't have got caught back on that return. You know what I'm saying?
He's Ben's favorite target right now, from what I'm seeing.
But of course he is. But what I'm saying is, as far as actually getting the season to get the kinks out, the only one he did that with is Vance McDonald and Juju. So all these other 3 guys, you're getting taste of what they can do. You're getting taste of Ebron, taste of fucking Claypool, and a big taste of. That's because he had last year's preseason to work with Deontay at least. So, because we seen last year's preseason, he was doing really good with Deontay. Everybody was doing good with Deontay last preseason. So they know him more. So he's like in the medium range, but he's still not. Well, yeah, he's in the medium range. Your other 3 have no familiarity with Ben, no preseason. This is their actual real reps they're getting. He's feeling them out. And he's like, oh shit, I got some toys.
Yeah.
He's feeling them out. The OC's feeling them out. Tomlin's feeling them out. The Roonies are feeling them out. You know what I'm saying? But you're like, ooh, look what we got. So I guarantee you, what you've seen so far when they've been targeted, they produced, all 3 of them. So I guarantee you, in this upcoming game, you're going to see more targets for them. You're definitely going to see more targets for Claypool, and you're going to see more targets increase as the games progress.
You know what's crazy? Is Juju's the senior receiver, bro.
Exactly.
Think about that. Think about
age-wise.
Juju
age-wise.
senior.
We're young.
Yeah, he's our senior receiver, bro. Like, and he is still a rookie, bro. Like, our if we find, I promise you right now, if that's why I keep saying we need our back, we need it. I mean, Ben's there, but he's not going to be there. I mean, he's going to start. If we can find a rookie quarterback right now to learn with rookie receivers we have right now, I think we need to go a couple back-to-backs, bro. I'm not going to lie to you. We have a young defense. Killers. We have a young defense.
Babyface killers, man.
Yeah, we have a young defense, too. Our defense, look at it. I mean, we got a couple of still key players in there on our offensive line and defensive line, but, I mean, we got a lot of rookies on our field right now.
Yeah.
I mean, and rookies with no preseason and are still playing like this. I mean, one of my favorite players that jumped out was Bush, bro, and he has been doing everything I thought this man would do. Like that. As soon as you see him, you already know he's in a tackle. He's already somewhere near that tackle. He's running everything else. His little pick. I mean, he's another one of them natural athletes to me. I honestly think we have a very young team right now. I mean, they are performing outstanding for the amount of time they played together, bro. Like, this is a young team. You know what I mean? When you play high school ball, you play with these boys your whole way up, bro. You know what I mean? So you're comfortable with them. You know what I mean? Imagine going on the field with some dude you've only played with a couple games, or you know what I mean? We practiced twice together. I don't know if I can trust you to take this block from me. I don't know if you know what I mean you're gonna be in that same cross cut when I come across. I don't know if when he throws you the ball, you're gonna catch it. So now I'm sweating extra, like, man, I better get open because I don't know if he can catch the ball. They don't have none of that fluency yet, bro. You know what I mean? Like, and our defense the same way. They're just learning, bro. So, I mean, honestly, with next year's, if we get a nice quarterback and a safety back there, someone a little stronger, bro, it's over. I promise you right now, we're going to go back-to-back on a couple. I promise you.
I'm going to tell you something, man.
Have you guys lost faith in Mason well, I mean, now it's Dobbs, but I mean, like, so you guys don't think Mason could potentially be the answer?
No.
And I'm not even hating on the boy. I'm not even hating on him. I just don't think he has that killer instinct. He is a hell of a ball player. He got an arm on him and everything else, but he doesn't have it together. He has this feature and this feature, but he's missing these three. Then he has this feature, but he's missing these two. I mean, he's a good athlete, but he doesn't have what it takes to be and to take that pressure, to know what's going on, to make that playmaking ability, to see what's coming at him and switch it up. And I mean, he doesn't have none of that, bro. I mean, he's a good ball player. Excellent. He made it to the NFL. I mean, he's a good ball player, but he's just not to that level that we can build off of him. I don't see it. I mean,
are you saying that about Dobbs, or are you saying that about Mason?
Mason. Dobbs, I really can't even say nothing because we really didn't get a good look at him. You mean Mason last year? I mean, bro, you had every chance and you lost your position, got your position back, and you still, it was like, I mean, you would figure that you would be appreciative of it. He just wasn't doing. I mean, anybody that stepped in, look what. I don't mean to compare to greats there, but look when Brady stepped in. He wasn't playing. He stepped in the game, jumped in.
But you know what? There's a lot of players.
I hate that dude with a passion too, but he's an athlete. You know what I mean?
But you know what? I tell everyone there's a lot of players that, like, if we just looked at like their first or second year, you know, they wouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. Like, I mean, if you look at Brett Favre, like, he bounced around to a few teams before he really got hot. You know, so it's like I kind of look at it from that aspect of, you know, you have some players that are going to come out there that are first rounders and they're going to come out there and produce and potentially take your team to that next level. And then you have some that, for whatever the reason is, they're transitioning to the pros and they're just not prepared. And it takes them that time for them to get that preparation. Like, even look at Drew Brees, like when he was in San Diego for all those years with LaDainian Tomlinson, like, he was struggling. You know, to the point where they drafted Phillip Rivers, and then the final year of that deal, you know, he actually went out there and produced, and then he was able to go into free agency because they had a solid backup behind him, you know.
Yeah.
But, I mean, just off of the first glance, first season or two, they're like, listen here, this guy doesn't have it, and they want to replace him. But really, all he had to do was just work on his craft and work on his game, and you could see he's one of the best ever, you know. So, I mean, do you guys really feel like Mason, like, he's done? Because, I mean, like, it seems to me like the Steelers, the franchise and the coaching staff, they actually believe that he's the heir apparent. Like, they kept on the roster. They didn't, you know, add any depth behind him. As you see him going to Dobbs, he doesn't have any more experience than Mason, really. He's only a year removed from Mason's draft class, right?
Yeah, so, better than Mason. That's
Dobbs
why
is
they
But
brought
better
clearly
than
him
they
in.
Mason.
don't see that because he's
Production
second on the
wise,
depth chart.
Dobbs is better than Mason. Man.
And that's why they brought him in.
Mason had a flash, but Mason had a flash. The problem with Mason is this, man. I'm not hating on him like Chris said. He's got the talent and size and pedigree and all that, whatever. But he don't have the eyes of a killer. And he also doesn't have the composure that's required of a field general. The situation that happened with him and Myles Garrett, he lost his composure, bro. And the whole shit is like he when he went back charging, it's like, bro, I'm gonna tell you some real shit. Football is a man's sport. It's wolf pack mentality, laws of the jungle, right? When you show weakness to your men like that, you will never, ever again be a leader of men in the NFL. Period. They're not looking up to you. You're not the general. You're not the goon in charge. They're not going to kill for you. It's just not how it goes. Ben is a general. Tell you something about Duck, bro. Duck, when you look in his eyes, bro, you see a gunslinger. No matter what anybody can say about the games he did lose for us or whatever, never once did you feel like Duck was scared. Not once. Did you ever feel like that man was scared? And that's what it takes, that confidence. I see Mason look scared in practice. I'm just telling you, that's what made me know it's Duck. Is that Mason went out there and was horrified, and here comes Duck walk on and was like, "Oh, I got this." Pew pew pew. It was like, damn, you could just like it was a whole different. It was like, man, it's like, and then look what he did when he had his hands on the sticks. When he had the sticks, did he win anything?
Yeah. Like when we seen him at camp, you remember we was talking about how nice he was looking at camp when we went up there.
Yeah, you was there with me. The day we seen him, that's the first day we seen, man. Everybody was saying, "Who's number 6? Who is that dude? Who is that dude?"
He was playing.
We were all, and because the reason why we saw him is because Mason went in there first. He was in the order of, you know what I'm saying, pecking order, I guess. And he was the number 4 camp on. He went last. That was like, he started hitting everything. I got the footage. Like, he was hitting everything, man. And, man, Mason was not, man, he was stiff, hesitating, and there wasn't even pads on. Like, there was no contact. So it was like, man, if you're scared, there's no contact. Like, man, listen, when you grow up in that conference and you play in the college or high school, you kind of get treated like a god. It's then they're like, oh, don't hit him too hard. You know who that is. That's Mr. Such and Such. And, you know, I mean, I'm not saying, but it's like, man, it's a different level of competition to where when you go to the NFL, everybody's a stud. That's the reality. In the NFL, everybody is a stud. There's no fillers on the team, bro. Like, it's not like college. So it's like
any given Sunday, any team can win, man.
Look at Chicolo the same way, right? Chicolo got that big, huge size and height and muscle, right? And when you're in college, you could bulldoze your way through it because you're bigger and stronger than everybody, right? So you don't have to be the best at your skill position, right? But when you get to the NFL, everybody's big and strong. You ain't the biggest and the strongest no more. And guess what? These motherfuckers got skill. You don't. Same thing for Mason, man. It's like you got away with being 6'5" and all this stuff and be able to see over everybody's head and, you know, see your target and connect with your guy because everybody else you's up against on that whole entire team, maybe one person might get drafted. Maybe one. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Now you're playing in a league where everybody got drafted.
Yep.
And that's different, bro. And he ain't. I'm just saying, man.
Far as like with Hilton, like his production over the past 2 weeks, like he's really been out there balling. It seems like he wants to stay, but I don't know if we'll have the cap space to keep him.
Yeah, Hilton's killing him. He balled out last week. But I don't know, man. We have some interesting cap situations coming up. So
full roster. Let's put it that way.
What's
A
your
full
thoughts, Chris?
roster. We got a full roster,
Mm.
bro. And I mean, sometimes it comes down to it. You got to cut what you don't want to cut. I mean,
Yeah.
not everything. Sometimes not everything you cut off is fat, bro. Sometimes you got to cut into the meat. Sometimes, and I mean, it sucks to say, but like when you're playing at this level, like Banger said, you mean the best of the best. You got to be the best of the best up here. You mean, so you being nice. Don't cut it sometimes. You mean?
Yeah. Well,
He's a good
I'm
player. He's a good
definitely
baller.
enjoying
He
seeing
definitely
him
balled
out
out.
there, man.
Yeah, he definitely.
I'm enjoying. He's balling, bro. Like he's balling. Like I like he's killing them. Like, he's out there playing like he wants some money. That's how he's playing. Like he wants some money.
Yeah.
And that's what it's saying. It's like I don't know what's gonna happen, man. We got a lot of tough decisions coming up.
We do.
Bud's playing like he wants his money too. So.
Oh man, I'd have thought I'd never said that. Like he had a couple no shows last. He just didn't even register one tackle. So for him to produce the way that he's doing right now, like it's definitely amazing to me, man. Definitely.
Yeah.
So so that leads us to the last question, man. The last topic here. What's everyone's thoughts on the keys to victory to beat the Houston Texans in week number 3 coming up here? So I'll start with you, Chris.
I mean, I think that as long as we keep with the same thing we're doing, like Banger said, we're stretching out every week. I mean, so we're going to get better and better, used to it. I mean, we're still moving through what we're moving through. These are the first couple games, basically preseason. Let them get warmed up. I think they already have the key to the game. They have a good game plan behind them. I think they just got to get more in depth with each other. That connection built more up. I think Ben needs to realize who his targets are still. I mean, they're still fresh. They're still new. So, I mean, I think as long as we keep it the same game plan we did, we'll be fine. I mean, Connor really produced last week. So, I mean, I think as long as we keep it at I always like our offense at a 70-30. I always say that. I said like a 70-30. I like 70 passes, 30 run. You know what I mean? So I like we have a lot of targets. I like Ben moving. I think it's better when he's moving because he gets better in the game. But I like to keep our run game nice because we can still pull off a couple and run through there. You know what I mean? So that's why I always like it. I like more pass with a little bit of run when it's needed. You know what I mean? And keep it moving. Let them know that we're more than passing. Plus our pass game, we always stretch it out, have everybody moving back, and then when we run, it hits even harder.
What about you, Banger? What you think?
Yeah, I like the same thing you said, a 70-30 split with the passing and run game. I'm really excited. Once again, you got to keep on talking about these big targets, and that's what I'm excited about. And then what's so good about using these big targets is really focus on them. It's going to open up the game for Juju and James Washington and Deontay. So yeah, this is going to be an interesting game, man. I want to see how J.J. Watt lines up with Ebron. I want to see how that works out. I want to see how that works out with Vince McDonald too. Yeah, I think it's going to be some interesting situations, man. Definitely some interesting.
That should be another battle too, because Ebron played for Indy, and they used to go at it with Houston. They were in the same division, so.
I mean, I
think
think
reignite that battle between him and Watts. I'm definitely gonna be interested in seeing that.
Yeah, I think
I have to watch some footage to see how they matched up, man. I want to see how they matched up. I have to check that footage out, see how they matched up, and then they were playing in that conference.
I mean, I think from what I remember, I think they have a nice short coverage, but they're not too good with the long. I think that's what it was. They was getting burnt back deep, which I think is going to be dangerous because we have a lot of. I think Washington in slot, Juju. And then we're going to
definitely some holes in the secondary.
We'll congest that middle until they all jump on it, and then boop. You already know we're going long. Clay on the long, bam, out. That's all it's going to be.
I think the key to the game is going to be stopping Watson. Like it's been times like where we struggle with mobile quarterbacks. So if we could stop Watson, I think we have an excellent shot at winning. But I just hope this isn't a trap game. I'm hoping it's not a trap game because they're 0-2, and seeing how everything transitioned with Denver last week, where like it came down to the final 2 minutes of the game for us to pull it out. So. Yeah. This week, Texans, they're going to be hungry. Look, I just hope we can somehow, some way pull out a W.
I think, but see, you know what, man? They're just as hungry as we are. We're
Yep.
just as hungry as they are because, like,
Yeah,
man, it
yeah.
goes back to the thing again. It's again, man, we're like, we got new weapons to play with on the offense. Everybody's excited to what exactly they can do, and I think that this weekend, man, they're gonna. I don't think there's any type of complacency or any type of any like a whatever attitude because we haven't even opened up our offense yet. Like
No.
so, like we're still getting the wheels greased and the gears greased and all that stuff. And man, I really think that like these big weapons are going to be factors this game. I really
100%.
do, man. And then but why? The other one's going to be in the backfield blocking. And looking at how he was, did you see that block he had on Connor's big ass run?
When he buckled, bro.
He blasted.
I gotta look at that
Buckled, bro.
Man, he blasted him. I mean, blasted.
He's
a linebacker, bro. He's a linebacker. You know what I'm saying? And like, I'm waiting to see what his pass protection's like this week. I'm waiting to see what he does for Ben. So I think he's going to be in there protecting Ben.
Agreed.
So
Yeah, that's gonna be something to see if he lays the wood on his brother, man. That's gonna be something to see, man.
Yeah.